Hey guys, sorry for interrupting. I'm Lou Neves Jr. alongside.
That's Torres.
And this is our 15th episode. And Jessie is very sick, so forgive her voice sounding so raspy.
Yes.
And today we are at the You, Me, We podcast studio with none other than...
I'm O'Day.
I'm Vicky.
And we are, of course, the You, Me, We podcast.
What?
And we have a nice little joint conversation going on today, which is cool. We want to thank you guys for coming through and for having us on Sorry for Interrupting podcast.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us on You, Me, We podcast. It's a weird combination of two, but it's our first time being here, and as soon as you walk in, it's really amazing. It's
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not what you think when you see visually, but when you hear, you're like, wow, there's so much going on. It's not just you press record and everything goes. There's so much more than what you see.
A lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's
I think you
beautiful.
guys should be more in tune with that, like showing people, because like I was telling you guys earlier, like it's that Instagram effect where you see things and like, oh, that's so easy, but they don't know everything that's going on. It's not just press record and that's it.
Have you guys ever done that? Like a show
tour?
behind the scene? Like,
No.
I think you guys should.
You know what I had I think I told you, I was like, I wanted to record like a recap of an episode, like a 5-minute quick recap
Like a
of all
reaction?
the like my reaction 2 days later, like, actually, this is what I meant when I said this.
I've always wanted to do a tour of the studio, but I guess the anal part of me is like, nah, I want to make sure it looks perfect. I want to make sure this thing is right.
This looks
Yeah,
perfect.
we recorded an episode about that.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. My God.
I think you should.
That shit looks.
will.
You know,
looks
I'm gonna
great.
make a vision board, and it's just gonna have like the
you
Nike
do
sign,
it?
and it'll be like, just do it.
Did you do the vision board?
No.
Oh.
No, I was like, I gotta clean my house.
Are you a vision boarder?
No, when Jessie and I first met, she told me about it. I'm like, what is a vision board? And she described that it's pretty much what you envision within that year for what you want to accomplish. And I just, in my mind, I was still trying to figure life out, so I didn't care too much for it. So she actually got one for my mom. She was like, oh, have your mom build a vision board.
Got her a bunch of like,
Yeah.
magazines
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
board and all that. It's pretty good. I love it.
I made one years ago, and it was, and because it's about seeing your goals every day. It's just like a daily reminder of where you're trying to go, so you can stay in focus. And it was great. I loved my vision board. It was soft. It was so like well thought out, and like I even had it up in our room when we lived in like Edison. It was like this bright orange board. I just threw it out, and my heart was broken. I had to take a picture of it, like, you'll be with me forever.
So
no, it's
guys,
awesome seeing vision boards.
But
have-
yours is just gonna say, just do it.
guys have vision
then I'm
notes. We just have notes that we keep on our phone or a little black and white notebook.
Yeah, but you don't look at those every day.
So you never created a vision board, is what
Nah,
you're saying?
no. It's in my head. It's in my head.
Yeah,
Now,
because that works out.
you've created the vision board. Now, did you complete everything that's on that vision board?
For the most part, I did. Yeah.
What was that like, knowing that like you completed a
came to
task?
pass?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice actually.
Wow.
But when I looked back and I was like, oh yeah, I did go to Caravana this year, and I remember at the bottom I had put like the skyline to all the cities that I wanted to visit, and I did. We made it to Texas. We made it to. I didn't really make it to Atlanta, but I stopped in the airport. I made it.
Hey, this is one off the list.
I made it. Yeah, and like it was just like a bunch of different things, and I'm like, wow. Or like most of the times people don't get to accomplish all of it, but through time you do. So like now
Is that
looking back
within
on
just
that
a
one,
year?
I was like, oh, I did. Like I put a picture of a lady baking, and I was like, oh, I did like learn how to bake more stuff, and a girl with like huge hair, and at the time my hair was, I grew it to be that long, so it was really small at the time.
Vicky be baking.
Yeah, for real.
One thing I would say that was on all of our vision boards was to start a podcast. With, you know, it's funny. I used to always say, whether you were actors or singers, in my head I would say don't collaborate.
Really? Why?
Because I always felt like the examples I went off of was like J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Who else? I feel like as soon as you collaborate, that's it. It's all downhill. They're gonna break up, and so that was one thing I always worried about. I was like, I know I have this little, superstition for myself that if you do a collaboration with your partner, you're gonna break up at some point. And
I've never.
I've always thought of I've always thought about it. So that was one thing I was like, nah, I don't ever want to do a collaboration with Vicky because she'll stay in her lane, I'll stay in mine. So that was one concern I had when we talked about.
You never told me that.
Wow.
No, I'm not going to tell you that. So that was a concern we
like,
had.
I don't want to jinx us.
Yeah, exactly. That was a concern I had about starting the podcast, but that was us. I'm sure you guys probably had some conversations before doing that first episode.
Well, not.
No, because I've done audio before. Whoever's listened to the podcast in the beginning, I've started a podcast like 7 years ago. I actually had, when I was DJing, I had my own internet radio station. So I was familiar of how to do it by myself and with others because I had started a podcast with my pastor and stuff like that. And when I brought it to her attention, she was kind of nervous at first, but she never was like, oh, I don't want to do it with you. She was just more like, how would I sound? What would I say? And I'm like, we talk all the time. We just record what we talk about. It's just that simple. And from the first episode, she was a little nervous, and then she started getting more into herself. And now she's, I don't want to say a pro, but I think she's more comfortable in her own skin to have open discussions with public.
Yeah.
You're a pro. You're a YouTuber.
I'm a YouTuber.
You're like, I'm a creator. No, I'm a creative. That's what I do.
Creative. Yeah.
Yeah, but we never thought. Well, that didn't come cross my mind where we're like, oh, we're doing something together, and how about if it jinx, there's a jinx.
Well, I did tell her. I said it did cross my mind if we broke up, will we continue to still do it? And she said, why would you think that?
We talked about that.
And I said, well, you're my best friend. If we broke up, in my mind, I wouldn't think it would be anything bad. It'd just probably be like, it just didn't work. And we can't be together, intimately in a relationship. We can still be friends and still do the podcast. She's like, I was like, I don't know. I just don't want it to end. In my mind, it's like, I hope it doesn't get to a point where they're like,
you shouldn't want us to end.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, there's that too.
Yeah.
I told Vicky, I was like, yo, I'll bring a new cast member on in a week. I'll bring somebody else in, like, hi, I'm welcome to You May Be Podcast. I'm O'Day. This is Stephanie.
She's probably like, who's Stephanie now?
We've definitely had like a week where we didn't put a episode out because, and we said it on air, we were done. we had broken up.
Oh, really?
Whatever. So we didn't
more than once.
Yeah. So we didn't put an episode out, but during that time, I definitely thought to myself, like, damn, we got to explain to people now why the podcast. No, I got to take it down. I got to take the website down.
Please, I didn't explain shit. I was like, deactivate that page. And I remember one person was like, hey, I can't find your page.
Oh, man. Because it happened.
I'm like, okay.
So wait, you guys deactivated?
I would just go in and deactivate it. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not doing this. Bam, and just take it down.
But recently I saw it was like a Instagram couple, David Dobrik and Liza. They were together for a couple of years.
Oh,
they
yeah,
had
the
their
YouTuber.
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had their own
Not
YouTube
familiar.
channel. Yeah, yeah. If you look it up, they're both individually famous themselves, but they broke up on YouTube. Like they told their fans that, and it was very emotional for them. Like they're crying on camera and they're saying that this is not the end for their friendship, but as a couple, they just have to go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And I think that the growth of them individually got so big that this is my opinion, that they just couldn't coexist with one another. Because she was doing her own YouTube movies and she was on commercials and TV shows.
David
Liza
Dobrik
Koshy?
and Liza Koshy, yeah.
Okay.
She's
If
huge.
I show you a picture, you'll know.
Yeah.
I think my sister told me about them, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But you know Liza, the girl that's like, she does like puns in Target and stuff like that. She has her own
She's
show.
tiny and she does
Yeah.
like great impressions.
Oh, she's amazing.
No, she's hilarious.
Well, now I'm gonna have to
I
show
know.
you.
I'm trying to Google it now. Like I'm like David.
Liza Koshy.
So they did
She's
break
like
up.
the other Indian famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
And her and Lily Singh will do collabs like I'm not Lily Singh.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her I know. Yeah. She had a show on YouTube. Yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You love her,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Now I don't know people by name.
so
Yeah, same.
when I
show me a
think
picture, I'm like, oh, okay.
I actually don't know, like, your what you would consider a celebrity. I don't know celebrities by name, but YouTubers, I absolutely know them.
that's interesting because Jesse doesn't know, like I say, pop culture, I guess. So she doesn't know actors. She doesn't really know movies.
Me
and
Bruh.
Nope.
Same.
Show me a picture. I'm like, okay, yeah. I
But
know that.
why?
And I confuse him. I'll be like, isn't that the guy? And he's like, no.
she does that
I'm like,
too.
they look exactly the same.
Prime example. The other day, and I never brought it up to Vicky, but Vicky's listening. Vicky's watching TV with our son, and she's watching what's the name? Mickey Mouse. I think it's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or Mickey Mouse Roadster Racers, whatever
Yeah,
the show
whatever.
is. And I'm guessing Goofy was on the screen, and I hear.
Oh, and I kept calling him Scooby.
I hear Vicky,
No, let me tell you. I was at my mom's house and I was like,
I'm
oh,
so
Scooby.
sorry.
And my mom's husband is like, you mean Goofy? I'm like, oh, yeah, because Scooby's in like that 70s one, right?
Vicky,
I'm like, it's a dog. What's the difference?
but Vicky didn't grow up with pop culture, or like, right? You didn't like look at stuff or leave the
didn't-
house or something.
Is that a Portemo thing? Because
I didn't grow up watching
too.
American stuff.
Is
First of all, we grew, okay, right?
So they know each other. Just
Yeah.
like I
No.
don't know.
First of all, yeah, let me explain to whoever's listening. Me and Jessica grew up a block away from each other. Like,
Literally.
literally grew up a block away from each other. We went to school from like kindergarten
Yep.
to high school,
school.
Wow.
together.
Yep.
Like, we've known each other our entire lives.
Yep, we had the
So
same
it
uniform
definitely
a
birthday
growing
boy
up.
thing.
Yep.
It's something in the water that just like takes that memory away.
No, but you know what's crazy? Because my sister knows all that.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah, it's true. My sister knows all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
Jen
like,
knows.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I never seen that. Like, what cartoon? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
we were straight up like in bilingual together
Yes!
and like transferred over to standard English at the same time
we sure was.
Look at y'all.
in our ESL class.
ESL twinsies. Now, I know I had mentioned to you when we talked one time online, and I was like, "Yo, I was surprised at like the similarities, which that being one of them.
Yeah.
Similarities between our two podcasts. My media DJing background, and then you guys just knowing each other and ESL twinsies. So I always wondered if you bumped into some of the same like little nuances that we do here. And one of the things was, I guess, having that background and working with somebody who like didn't
Yeah.
no background in like broadcasting or whatever like that. And one of the big things big issues that me and Vicky has is I remember the first episode we did. Vicky was here like while I'm editing it. I'm like, yo, just leave. just let me edit and leave. Because Vicky wanted to hear the whole episode with me, and she's like, I don't like how that's. I'm like, yo, just walk away so I can just edit. Because I had my vision. I'm like, yo, sit there while we record, bounce, and I'll edit. We kind of got that rhythm now, but early on, I was like, yo, I just need her to walk away and not bother me so I can do what I got to do.
Because you wanted to know how it was going to be aired.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
So Jessie, when I started recording, Jessie, she still doesn't know to this day. She just says thank you for doing it. Like, she just knows that she has no part. She doesn't know. She doesn't tell me, oh, I want to learn. She's just like, that's your thing. You do it, and I just
Not
do my
me.
thing.
Vicky wants to learn, and then I'm like,
No, but I think that's encouraging that she wants to learn and know it. I know you said I don't want you touching nothing.
yo, I know it sounds bad, but there's part of me just like, yo, I don't know if I want her like, cause I could definitely walk her through like turning everything on, but I'm like, I don't want her to adjust some, cause it took me a while to get some of these settings going.
I got you.
And Vicky gets frustrated so easily sometimes.
With you.
And here's the thing, Vicky will do something and it won't work, and she'll be like, the mixer's not working. I'm like, no. Listen, this mixer has worked for everyone else. It's not the mixer. It's you. That's why I'm like, yo.
Is that after all the years us together, O'Day's like the techie person. So if something doesn't work, I'm like, why am I gonna bother when he's a techie person? I'm like, yo, Day, come fix this. I don't got time for this.
So I see why you're like, you know what? Then don't touch it.
Just
I'm
don't touch
I
it.
got it.
But I think
Yeah,
now,
but I don't want to touch that crap. I just want to know how to edit it, and I can just do it on my computers.
But then I got.
See, I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm like, you know what, you do you, and you air it, and
I can't.
however
I'm
we
like,
come out, we
I
come
can't
out.
wait for you. Like, if I got an idea, I just want to execute and keep it pushing. I don't want to be like, yo, O'Day, hear me out, and then I gotta wait for O'Day. Like, I can't.
I see-
That's why
I
I
see
never
what you're
worked well
saying.
in a team, like in school projects, or even when I used to work for people. I'm like, just sit down, man. I'm just doing. Just
But
shut-
Vicky,
just
but
stay
Vicky's
out of my
like,
way.
Vicky sees it as, yo, just teach me how to edit. I'm like,
Yeah, I just want to know how to
Okay.
edit. I don't want to know that crap.
but is it that easy? for somebody who edits,
it takes time.
It takes time, yeah.
But I think YouTube, because I went to school for it before YouTube was. I'm not old,
like your
but
resource.
Yeah, I'm 32. But when I was in college, YouTube was just coming out. So like the tutorials you learn on YouTube wasn't there at the time. So I learned everything in class. So the way I see it, it's harder. But now it's so much more easier for as far as tutorials to teach someone to do it. If Jesse ever said, Lou, I want to learn it, I'm like, all right, here's the video. Go watch it. I'm not a great
Send
teacher.
me the videos so that way I don't gotta wait for all day.
But I can understand her point because when I used to work on projects with other editors, we would like all come to a studio together and then they will pinpoint things. Hey, take this out, put it. I'm like, no, but I like this. And then they're like, no, but this will look better or this sounds better. Use this effect. I'm like, oh, I can't work like this. I can't work with other editors. I have friends that are editors, but to work together on a project is a lot more difficult because there are creative differences.
Yeah, they got a whole different vision than you do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's even when I was a producer and I was mixing music for people, the artists, and that's fine, they have their own vision too, but I'm the one adding the vocals to the beats and I'm putting it together. I know what I'm doing. You are just the lyricist. You're the rapper. You're just saying what you're saying. And I'm not excluding you, but this is me. I don't come to you and say, yo, you should fix that line. I don't think that 16 is hot.
True.
You know? So
Could you imagine?
it's hard. It's hard to work together in a creative space. But I can understand like when you're so anxious to put something out, you're like, he's taking too long. I want to do this, so I need to learn so that way I don't have to rely on him or her.
Yeah, but there's times when in my head I'm like, yo, all right, let me, I'll teach her, but I want to be like, okay, Vicky, there's formats, there's MP3. Like I want to start from scratch. That's where I have to start from.
Yeah,
because she wants to just go into like, show me how to chop, club. I'm just like, okay, I want you to first here's what DAW means. Here's what DAW means. Here's what, I want to start from scratch because I feel like she needs to know that stuff before she like dives into whatever.
Because waves are bigger than MP3s and then the files won't fit.
See, that's all confusing to me. So
she just be like, you know
babe.
what, do your thing.
I understand all of that. That's not a problem for me. Like I can retain that information. That's not a problem.
There's part of me that wants her to like respect the craft first before learning like the intricacies of it. I want her to like respect like what goes into it first. I know I'm probably overthinking it.
Yeah.
Because Vicky's like, I just want to edit the podcast so I sound better.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care about this other shit. Like,
how long did you have to convince her to? I'm like her, like you're not here.
I know, right?
Did he have to convince you to like go to add in video? Because that was one thing that was not an issue, but it took Vicky a while to be comfortable with video.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she's never been photographed or on video before, but I used to be like, first episode, yo, you want to do video? And she's like, no, not yet.
Yeah, I'm like, nah.
I didn't have to convince her. I told her that was the idea because I vlog too, so I have a vlogging channel. And she's been in some of my videos, but not to the point where it's focused on both of us. So we have a structure of how we want the podcast to proceed moving forward. So we talked about it, and we said, I think it was like maybe episode, I don't know, maybe 12. And we're like, I think we should just do video too. And she was all for it. She's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we did
when we did it in the car. And I was like, okay, like I'm driving. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. And she loved it because I think you could agree to this. It was the facial expressions that you said that people can't see when they're hearing.
Yes, because he makes a lot of facial expressions. Like he'd be like, especially with me, I'm like so silly. And he'd be making these faces, but people don't see it. So I'm like, people need to see your face. Like they need to see how you react.
People find it entertaining. Yeah, they because of our chemistry on like in person, like when we hanging out with people, they love us together. They feel like it's like a friendship where it's like we goof with each other, we goof at each other, and they're like best friends, and that's what we truly are. It's just best friends.
Yeah. So being in the video, it was like if we want people to connect with us,
I think it's more intimate.
This is the thing. Not a lot of people know of us together because I was away from social media. And, I was in a past relationship, so people already only knew that. So being away from social media for 2 years, and then now I come out and I'm like, hey, I have a podcast, and this is my boyfriend. Yeah. And it's like...
literally the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like, well, so people, especially us from here from Perth Amboy, we know people, so they're like, oh, who is this person?
Everybody
blah, blah, blah.
Everybody.
And so it's just like...
She's so famous. We go to
not famous, but you know,
ShopRite, and it's like hi,
it's per
hugs, kiss.
fanboy.
I'm like,
it's per fanboy. Like everybody
She's way
knows.
more friendlier than me. I'm like,
He's like, don't touch me.
So then I'm like, you know what? In order for people to know who we are, I think it's best in video. They could see this.
Yeah.
They could see how we are, and they could, you know, instead of me having to explain like, oh, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And this is him, and no.
But now that you from what I'm seeing, because we asked you earlier, or I asked you, have you considered doing YouTube? And you said that you don't really focus on it.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's something that maybe you guys can benefit from, as far as not only because of what you have available to you, but for people to see you visually. Because I see the stuff you post on Instagram, and I think it's hilarious. But it's a short video, so it's like I want to see the rest of that conversation. When I'm hearing it in the car, and I'm hearing the conversation, I'm like, I would like to see it sometimes, because it'll be more. I don't know. I'm a visual person. I love film and I love TV. So to me, visually, it would just be more appealing for me. And there are a lot of people out there like myself that they don't want to just listen to the audio. They want to see it too.
It was funny that added it might just be me, that added video element. It definitely adds on to the prep time, because I'm definitely in the closet like, did I wear this on the show already? Like, and I'm brushing my teeth to make sure there's nothing in my teeth. I'm looking at my nose to make sure.
For real. Now I know why you do that.
Why I brush before, right
Yeah,
before
I'm
the
like,
show?
yo, but why is it there? He's putting on mad lotion. He's like fixing his beard, his mustache. He's like brushing
people are
his
watching
teeth.
you now, you know?
Like going like this. I'm like, we're gonna go record. Like, are you okay? Like, are you ready?
You gotta get him a vanity set now.
And it's not to like look fancy, but it's to like just look presentable to the people that are watching you.
Yeah.
At least,
I understand,
you know?
yeah, because in anything that's visual, like
Yeah.
what we see, there's a makeup room. They do the makeup for them, and they present them very well. Like if you watch the news, if someone just walked out of bed and got dressed, it probably won't look as appealing, you know?
Yeah.
So although this is not newsworthy, it's not a big broadcasting, but you are being presented to the world. So whoever
Yeah.
sees it, you want to be presentable.
Yeah.
Like I tell Jesse all the time, you know, with the host, this is my side, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's you. It doesn't matter what side you're on. They're just seeing
I
you.
learned to embrace it.
Well,
You
now
saw how I
she's
switched
embraced
over
it. Yeah.
to this side.
Yeah.
It's like people who be like, when you show them you show them a picture of themselves, and they're like, oh, I don't like how I look. I'm like, yo, that's your face.
That's
Yo,
you.
he says
Oh,
that.
Jess
all-
says that.
He
Jess
says that to her all the time. She's like, I don't like that picture. He's like, yeah, but that's your face.
Yes.
Like you can't change it.
Yo, if I were to say that as a photographer, I would have lost a lot of jobs. Because they were like,
But
can
he's
you,
not a photographer.
like, can you take it from this angle? I'm like, it's not gonna change. Like, in my mind, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to fix that side of your face. Like,
That's hilarious.
unless you want me to Photoshop it, then yeah. But
Yep. I'm like, yo, Photoshop all that.
Put a whole different person in the picture if you want, but that was one thing that even with doing the broadcast, for broadcasting my voice, our voices, for somebody who has a lisp, I stutter, I have like some muscle spasms sometimes. I'm like, I definitely had to get over that, because one, I would be editing, taking out the littlest things,
really,
just because I was so like
insecure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, I still am. So I'll catch it sometimes. I'll be like, well, they just leave that in there. But I know I'll probably take it
But
out.
this will who make that. This is you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's you.
This
yeah.
is you. So when people see you, they get what you know.
Yeah,
they
just
get,
imagine like they don't hear what they see in person. Like, is this the same guy that I was listening to?
Yes.
They don't. No,
And
I
that's the
agree
same
with
thing
you.
with me, because I've always felt like, well, I don't know. I'm not great with public speaking. So doing podcasts, it was like, oh gosh. And you guys hear it like all the time. Like I mess up the words. I create my own little things, and people are like, that's the word that didn't even go together. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's gonna be whatever it is. Like now, like whatever
Yeah.
it is right now. And but this is just me, because this is how I am daily with people, where I'm, whoever I meet. And
You
so
want
that
to
was
show
to
who
edit,
you are, yeah.
That was to edit that.
But no, I
People
think
like that I'm
for
fake.
you, and I was telling her, I was like, this is Charlemagne without Charlemagne. Like the way you sound, the list, the how you say things, it's really interesting. Because I told her, I said just like Charlemagne, it's incredible, but it sounds good. And I wouldn't never be like, oh, because I can't listen to this podcast. His list is too much.
Nope, that's me.
Oh my God! So how you live with him if that's what?
No, not about him. But there is a podcast that I'm like, Dave's like, no, listen, you have to listen to this episode. I know that you can't listen to that podcast, but you have to listen. This is a great episode. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try. But the way this person speaks on the podcast, I'm like, I can't. Oh my God, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, just I can't.
It's so,
I try.
It's so
I'm like
petty.
this. I'm like.
It's so petty.
And the minute she says like a word, and I'm like, nope. I just turn it off. I'm like, I can't do it.
Vicky's just not a fan of how one of the co-hosts talks. Like
yes.
The way she, what's the word? The way she pronounces or enunciates some words.
Yes. Both. The way she pronounces and enunciates.
But when I hear that, I'm like, I think about myself. I'm like, but I stutter. I have a lisp. Whatever. People listen to
That's
us.
me. That's me all the time.
I can't do it.
And that's why I get self-conscious. That's why I get self-conscious.
It's just that one, I can't do it.
Because now I'm wondering who's listening going, yo, I can't stand his list, bro. I got to turn this off. You know?
You know what? There are many more like me.
No, there definitely is. But it's interesting.
But, it's funny. It's just that one podcast. Everything else, I'm like, yeah, I could do
it. It is
even
interesting,
Joe Budden, he drives me crazy, but I could do it.
You see, the thing is with Joe Budden, and we're switching topics, but with him, I loved his music. So past tense, loved. I don't like his stuff now. I know he's retired, but the last stuff of his was really, to me, not as good as his older stuff. But hearing his podcast, he's very judgmental of other people, and it's like he puts himself so high on this pedestal.
That's always been has been my thing too.
And I'm like, dude, you had one good album and a bunch of mixtapes. Yeah, you probably had problems with Def Jam and Jay-Z, but even when you were signed with Shady, it wasn't good. So for you to put, like, that's great that you have confidence in yourself, but to put yourself on this pedestal that you're so good and you're better than everybody, that to me is like, I can't listen to you because of who you are as a person. So that bothers me. Not just the way he talks, but like how he thinks of himself. Yeah, and it's really like, dude, you're not that guy.
I used to.
I don't know anything about Joe Budden. Oh. Only that he has a nervous laugh and a nasally voice.
Or the nervous.
Yep.
Whatever.
He does it. You know what? When I listen, I only listen to count how many times he does it.
Wow.
Because it sticks out to me like a sore thumb. Just like it was because I took this class in college. One of the classes, the few classes that I paid attention to, and it was a public speaking class. And he was talking about. He's like, you can notice when people are nervous. And he started pointing out all the little things that people do when they're speaking.
Wow.
And the way he did it was that before he went into this lesson, he was like, I want everyone to go up and give a speech about themselves for 3 minutes. Just talk about yourself. And every person has to go up. And then after he went up, after everybody went up, he went up and he was like, here are all the things people do.
Wow.
To soothe themselves while they're talking. And he pointed out, he was like, did you notice that you kept undoing your ponytail and doing it over again while you were talking? Wow. And I'm like, I didn't notice it, but when he said that, then I started to notice people doing
the things that he pointed out.
Nervous things like to fill dead space or dead air, and to him that's I call it the nervous chuckle. He does the all the time. So I listen for that. I listen for the dead space where he fills it in with the. So that's the only reason why I listen.
But going off of that cockiness that he has sometimes, that was one thing we kind of addressed our first episode. We let people know, hey, this is not a relationship podcast.
I'm not here to give advice.
Yeah, we're not
unless you need advice on how to mess things up. That's me. Wow. I got you.
Because that's been my thing with some podcasts. Because some podcasts, they'll go into it like, we are the relationship gurus.
Yeah,
and
we have all the answers. Yeah. And we have the answers. Yeah.
We were like, kind of like what you said. We're like, we're just having the same combos we would have
without microphones.
If the mics were on. Yeah. And if y'all want to go off of some of the stuff that we talk about and the advice we give, that's on you.
Yeah.
Right. It's your view.
We're not experts. Yeah.
Don't blame us if your relationship ends because you followed O'Day and Vicky. But we had to address that, we are not a relationship podcast. We are not experts on anything that we're talking about. We're just talking, we're just talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not the smartest in the room, but we definitely put that out there when we
on the very first started.
One. Yeah.
Now, what was the things that you probably thought that will separate you from the other couples' podcasts? Did you ever think about that? You're just like, we're just gonna talk.
Our experience.
Yeah,
because you guys been together a pretty long time, right?
Yeah.
He takes a deep breath. Like, yeah.
10 years, hard time. I just did a bid.
Oh man.
I'll be honest. I went into it, I guess, seeing myself as a creator who always trying to find some nice way or some new way of putting content out there. I did go into it thinking, how can I make ours different? Blah blah blah. But I realized, okay, stop overthinking it. Just have the conversation.
Yeah, just go.
But I guess our story.
Yeah.
Our story is our story.
But it's funny, right? Because I feel like that will be our strongest thing. Like if we really went and did a deep dive of our past and all that. But once we start talking too close to it, we're like, nah.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Nah.
There were some things where you guys would talk and you're like, not now. And I'm like, so why'd you bring it up?
Yeah.
I want to know.
It's
like you left us here like, you guys started the conversation.
I would like call in like, you better finish that sentence.
Yeah, like, listen, can we be there when y'all talk about, y'all don't have to record it, but can we be there? Because we want to finish this.
That happens, but it's all the time. And then, know what's crazy? Well, not crazy, but expected. All the arguments that have started from a podcast recording.
Really? So you would turn off the mic and be like, why'd you say that?
No, it'd be like, all right, well, thank you for listening. And then it'd be like,
literally.
And then we won't talk for like a week. Like,
no way.
Last episode ended with us coming off air. Well, actually, no. The last episode, there is, I'm not even lying. We put it out on Saturday. There is
so this is exclusive. Nobody's heard this before.
Nobody heard this backstory. That's true.
No. Literally, because there's about 20 minutes that I took out.
Wow.
You did?
I took out the ending, but but we were arguing.
Please do not start an argument after this.
But we were arguing or having a heated convo for so long that I was able to edit it. That it sounds like. Because Vicky she didn't throw a fit, but at the end she was just like, yeah, just end it. Thanks.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, do you want to end it? I'm like, bye.
But I was able to I was able to take that and move it up to when we first started arguing. So it sounds a little seamless. But that episode ended with her doing that, and then once everything was turned off, Vicky was like, can we talk downstairs?
Yep. I sat down and I was like, let's talk downstairs. Meet me downstairs. Because then even that, we had to set boundaries. Like, okay. He's like, I don't like when you try to have serious conversations in my space. He's like, I don't go into your closet and ask you to have serious conversations.
So, I mean, have y'all ever had to like cut some stuff out or be like, oh.
No, we haven't.
We always got to cut stuff
out. No, I just get the beginning dead air, the ending dead air, chop it, put it together, put music, and that's it.
Oh, no,
that's
we
crazy.
Boy.
They be having to market like.
Yeah, I'd be like,
wow.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we haven't had anything to cut off. Like,
no.
Because, first of all, he tells me when we our first episode, he goes, oh, we're recording. Like, we've been talking about we're recording. Mm-hmm. And that morning, he sets up the mic, and then he's like, he puts like a post on his story, and he's like, coming soon, tonight soon. Like, I mean, I knew it was going to come that soon, but I didn't know it was going to be like that soon.
Like that day.
So then I was just like, and then once we start, he said, we can't edit this. And I was just like, what? Like, and he's like, yeah, it's just going to go through. And I'm pressure. Like, wow. I was like, so whatever is said is said. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So that's how it's been. The flow has been where nothing's cut off. Like, whatever we say is what we say, and that's it.
I'm like, yo, take that out for legal reasons, bro. Take that out. Like, I can't have that floating in the internet that I said that.
Oh, wow.
I think the most open
really
the most open we ever got was we did our 50th episode live on Instagram. We did an Instagram live.
¿Pa qué fue eso, Dios mío?
So wait, all of the episodes have been edited? Oh, he don't understand Spanish.
Sorry. Again, the similarities. No, all of our episodes. Pretty much. But,
we edit them.
But a handful of them.
But not edit. I don't want people to think like we edit.
Yeah, whatever
like
you guys want.
Flipping us. Yeah, but we do chop things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm loose at the mouth. I'll just say stuff. So.
But definitely there's a handful.
This is recorded.
There's a handful.
It doesn't sound like it was edited. Like,
so like, yo, I'm going to, next time I see him, he's dead. Like,
I'm like, yeah.
You know, if you watch, that was one thing about adding in video. Because with audio, you can cut it up to, it sounds seamless. But with the video, every time you watch a video now, or the full video on YouTube, and you see like a transition, like, something just happened. He cut something out. But there's a handful of episodes that I would say like a chunk of it was like a big chunk was taken out because it was a straight up argument, or it was something that both of us.
Episode 50, I was like, but you know what? I saw it coming a mile away. And I said, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And his best man joined the live. And, one of his best men joined the live and said, why are y'all talking about this? Y'all about to get married. Like, why are you talking about this? And I wrote, this is what he wanted to do. Like, I knew what was going to happen. and then it was like, and I'm like,
So do you guys give each other like signs or like this is that's
No.
Like a safe word.
No, wait. So
yeah,
we
like
have
a safe word, yeah.
So we don't have a safe word.
Maybe you guys should.
We do like signals like.
We don't have safe words.
Like the
But
bottle this way.
Through
the bottle to the left.
through trial and error, we have learned to just say, what was the last recording you said it? You're like,
I think I said I don't want to talk about it. This conversation's done or something
Yeah.
like that. It wasn't the most mature way of. dealing
no,
with
I
it.
actually think you said it maturely.
Mm.
But you did say something like, I just don't want to talk about this anymore. And then I kind of was like, oh, okay, I get where
Yeah.
he's going.
I realized
Through
I was,
trial
I
and
was being
error,
triggered.
though.
Yes.
Yeah.
As in, that was episode, what, 56, 57?
Yeah.
Trial and error. All the way to episode 57, I finally got it.
Yeah, but we do have some stuff that if we ever did a Patreon, we could put it out and something like that.
People will pay for the raw footage.
If you want to hear the
Yo,
argument.
it goes down
Oh my goodness.
up in here.
That's appealing though. If you tell people like, "Yo, we cut out 20 minutes. You want to see the full episode?" Be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, where do I sign up? I need to see this." People like to see that.
True.
That's why
That's
the news is so successful. It's so not that your life is negative, but the news is so negative that people draw to that because
Yeah.
they escape from the reality of their own
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Where
They
like,
want
oh,
drama.
they
Yeah.
got it bad. I got it good. So if they see a couple and they'll look at it like, oh, these people be fighting. At least we don't do that, right, honey? And she's like, yeah, we do. And then it's like they
Yeah, but not like that.
no.
It's true. No.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
you're
what
right.
people do.
Yeah.
That's
People,
so
was
funny.
it,
I never
was it
thought
people
of
like
that.
to watch a train wreck or a car wreck? Something
Yeah,
like that?
people like to watch a
They
train
do.
wreck.
Why you think there's so much
Hello,
traffic?
why you
at
think
a-
Love and Hip Hop's so successful?
Yeah.
that
It ain't for the
Yeah.
positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
the same thing when you're driving on the highway and there's an accident on the opposite side, but there's traffic on
You're
your
right.
side. What are you writing notes? What?
Yeah.
But they like to see it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Me, I just be driving like, all right, peace.
Y'all got somewhere to go, bro.
See,
Come on.
I'm like, if I had to stay in traffic all this time for
She wants to
some
be rewarded.
rubbernecking,
I'm gonna take my
like,
time. Watch.
Yeah, I want to be
Nah.
rewarded. What happened here?
yeah, like let me find out too, because apparently this is something to see.
Oh man. But you guys have been doing this. I don't even know if we said this already because we've talked so much. But you guys started this a year ago.
Yeah.
Let me confirm that.
Get the exact date.
Let's go to the archive known as Instagram.
But to have over 50 episodes, almost 60 now, that's incredible.
It's
How do you
really
guys-
hard.
Yeah. How do you guys feel? Like you guys are still there, like from how you guys were in the beginning. Like, do you guys feel
Like growth from it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we look at it different because I look at it. It's bad, but I do compare it to some other ones. I'm just like,
Yeah,
damn, it's-
July 2018.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll definitely say to myself, damn, only 58 episodes. Because I'm comparing it to the people who were in the 200.
I heard you say that before, yeah.
And Vicky just gave me the whole stern talking to the other day about about my negative, not negative,
Yeah.
pessimist, whatever.
Yeah, negative.
But it definitely feels good to be here. Like
Yeah.
one,
like it could still be just an idea that you're
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
and didn't do anything.
like I
with.
said, we had some weeks that we missed because we broke up.
Yeah, we were beefing. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
don't even want to look at O'Day's face. I'm not gonna record with him about.
And there's times when we, like Vicky said, we won't talk for like a couple of days because we're angry at each other. And then we're like, you want to record tonight? We're like, all right. And then we'll be
Wow.
like, hi, welcome to the You Me podcast. As soon as we're done. All right, back to.
Not me. I have an attitude problem the whole time. I'm like,
And not that we're faking it because
Yeah.
while we're talking, like Vicky said before sometimes on the show, it's the first time we've talked in a while. So it's a genuine conversation. But then,
yeah.
but then we remember, oh yeah, I'm not really talking to her. So let me stop. But no, but it does feel good to like, one, have something that,
it feels good to still be consistent, as
Yeah.
consistent as possible, because
Yes.
it gets really hard being parents. Having a toddler at that, like, it gets really, really hard.
yeah.
And then now planning a wedding, which you know what? I love using that as an excuse, but we're not planning shit. We avoid that wedding topic like 100%.
Oh my God. Wait, do you guys have a date?
Yeah.
Oh, we did all of that,
yeah.
but the actual planning of it, we keep pushing it off. Like,
Wow.
oh no, we'll talk about it next week, and now we're about to be 6 months away.
Bro, we got a lot
We
to
pushed
talk
it away
about.
for like 5 months.
But the one thing I like about us still having this is that it is sometimes because of our schedules, or even because of because we're beefing or whatever. It is an opportunity. We know for a fact there's an hour or two a week that we're gonna sit down.
Yes.
And
We're
we're
gonna
gonna have to talk.
We're gonna interact. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna scream. We're gonna whatever. But So it's nice to know that we do have that one thing, that consistent thing that
That
will bring
you
us
back
together. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
No matter where
what,
we're at.
Yeah, that's what I love about our podcast is because, like, well, I don't see him during the week. It'll be like in the weekends, and then so this is our time together where we're always talking, but like this is like our baby. Like this is like our own. We're growing and learning, and and we're only on
15. This is episode 15.
Episode 15. And we look at you guys and like, oh my God.
I'm joking.
We look at it like you guys are on 58.
Yeah, I think.
And that's amazing because we always like, wow.
It's encouraging.
We just started from just an idea, like you said. And then it was just like, okay, we actually got out there and now we're on YouTube. So it was just like, wow, we're like growing. And it's just a short period of time, but I love it.
It's been difficult at times only because we are a blended family. I have a son, she has 2 girls, and we don't have our children the same weekends, so we share the weekends with the opposite. Like right now, my son's with his mom for his weekend. They're with their father, her girls. So this is our weekend where we get to record, we get to spend time, and then because we're so consistent, every Monday we put out an episode or Sunday night. It will literally be, I'll drop my son off, I will go to our house, record, have to record, go home, edit, post it, and then be at work by 7:30 the next morning, and then promote it Monday during work, Monday during lunch.
The promoting is like what kills me. Not kills me, but because I'm not on social media like that, like it's just like
hard.
It's very hard.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, because I was like, obviously I want people to listen.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But then it's like
to get creative, to get people to engage, to get it's so like time-consuming.
And sometimes we will record like 2 episodes in one day, so that way we don't have to worry about the next week.
Yes.
I've been trying to get you to do
I
that.
think once we did that.
Yeah.
Recorded.
So I'm like, yo, we need to have one in the vault just in case.
We've tried that for like the weekends that we don't have our kids. So then that way, if something happens that weekend, like we can't come back, and at least we have one out.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's been hard to do that because we don't just want to record. We want to live our lives too. So like we want to go out and do things. We have families and we want to go with our friends, or I want to meet with my boys because it's my weekend away from my son. So now I have the opportunity to hang out with my boys, but I want to hang out with her. She has school. It's like, it's so much time consuming that it doesn't bother us, but it's really about the preparation. And sometimes we can't do 2 episodes in one. So we have to really do it once I drop my son off to his mom, come back and do everything myself.
I think one of your episodes, or probably a few of your episodes, you were like, yo guys, it's like 12 o'clock right now, or it's midnight, or I think you just came home from school and then you guys went right to recording.
That was when I was delirious. Oh my God. People thought I was drunk. People thought I was drinking. Like, I'm like, I was tired. Like, I was just very, like, that's how I get. I get extremely silly. And I was exhausted.
Yeah, she did 8 hours of school.
Yeah.
Saturday. And then it was just, she was tired. I was tired.
But we were like, we have to, this is the only time that we're able to record, and then because we're not able to record any other time, so
we slacked off twice since we've had our podcast out, and last week we didn't put out a podcast because obviously Jessie was sick. And I didn't want to force it on her like, hey, we have to do it, we're not getting paid for this, you know? So
and I was about to, and I was gonna push myself because I was like, you know what, we've been consistent every week, you know, let's do it. But then I was like, oh, I'm not feeling good, like, at all. Like, I can't push myself.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to, it's true, because you're like, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
We definitely had, because a lot of times we'll wait till our son goes to bed, and he just picks whenever. So it'll be like 12:30, and we're recording, and I'll wake up at like 5 to edit. Or I'll be, you know, I don't think my boss hears this, but I'll be at work, like, doing work, editing on, or I'm doing work with my headphones in. I'm like, oh wait, gotta edit that. just so we can be consistent and have it out. And even our debut date has changed because of my schedule.
I forgot that.
Or it'll come out on a Friday or a Saturday. But it made me think, when you were talking about, you know, we're still doing it. What are y'all trying to do with it, with your podcast? Like where do you see it going? That's like that generic question. What are you trying to do? Like, where do you see your podcast in 5 years?
Well, you can answer what you think. I know what I want, bro.
I don't know.
He's like, I got a vision.
I'm trying to get a Spotify contract.
Yeah, so I was telling her, as like, I wish that, because she's going to school to be a massage therapist. I was going to say physical therapist. I'm sorry. Massage therapist. I went to school for film, and I want to use that as my career. So if this is something that could branch out where I can work with different studios and edit for someone or something like that, I would do that. But as far as the audio partner I would like to have our own show where we are being paid for it and we're being broadcast or we're being invited to do I don't know, like a talk or, you know, you did a thing with your sister. I mentioned this before.
The women's conference.
The women's conference. And I would like for us to do that where we're not the couples guru, like you said, because we're not, but people can be inspired by our story or your story, and they can do something with their life. Even if it's something that we say that inspires someone to do something with their life, that's what I really want us to do, honestly. And it's just to reach people.
If it reaches at least one person, then at least we did our
it's
good job.
That's my whole meaning. And that's what when I went to school for, to make films. I like writing films, but most importantly, I like making documentaries where I'm telling someone else's story. Someone can be inspired by their story, but I was the one who put their story out and gave them a platform. There's a lot of people that they can't speak on that. You know, they're like, how do I put my message out? They don't have the creativity to put out something that they did that was so positive. So there comes me. I'm not a superhero, but it's like, I can help you bring this message to millions of people if I can.
Dope. Vicky, where do you see this podcast? Vicky's like, I'll be bored Wednesday night, so we can record.
Let me see. I would like for us to, I guess, make more use of the YouTube channel. For someone who watches YouTube so damn much, I should probably use it. I don't know. I haven't actually really given it much thought, to be honest with you.
I would say this is the most consistent I've been with like a project dealing with like podcasting. So same. I want to see it like go somewhere where it could be like a show that, you know, people will listen to for whatever reason.
I would love for episode 100 to be live.
I would love to.
That was our goal. Our goal was
episode,
not live on Instagram, but like
live,
like in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been to one live podcast, and I was like,
oh, that would be nice.
I was like, we could do this because it was a small room. It probably held like maybe 50 people.
That's our basement.
They got one of their friends who does like nutcrackers to provide the drinks. They had their comedian friend host, and I was like, yo,
that sounds
we
so
could
dope.
do that. We totally
this.
know people who fill those positions.
So yeah, I would love for us to do a live podcast one day, and just, you know, be a household name for some people.
Yeah.
Like every Wednesday, I wake up knowing that Joe Budden podcast about to come out, or every Monday morning I have it's you guys and the Bodega Boys. Like those are my Monday podcasts. And I know the Bodega Boys come out like in the afternoon sometimes. You guys, I know when I wake up while I'm getting ready for work, I have yours. So I would love to like Thursdays or Fridays. People are looking forward to our show. But I know that's going to come with us being consistent with the promotion going online. And doing which like y'all said, it's a lot.
It is a lot, especially if you're new to it. Like if that's your thing, I don't think it's a lot, right? But if it's not your thing, it's draining.
Yeah, because you have your own lives. Like, this is not your life. I would love for this to be our lives, where we wake up, we record. I would like to have it Monday through Friday for an hour every morning. We record, have a talk show like you would on the radio.
That's cool, though.
And that's it. Like, that's your job. And then you'll do something else. And that's what I like. I want to be able to live that life where it's not financial freedom, but it's more of like freedom of like speech and just be able to talk and live. Because when we work our 9 to 5s, like we do that and then we do this as our like hobby or our love for it. I would love for it to be everything. And that's where the difficulty lies. And then there's the kids, and then it's your relationship. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I definitely have thought to myself, Uday, you know, going off what you just said, Uday, you can just wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock, record something every day, put it up. I'm like, one, I'm tired. And two, it's like, do people just want to hear my voice? That goes back to the whole thing of like, people want to hear me talk for like by myself. That's why I could never do a solo podcast.
I've done it. It's hard. I did 5 episodes of it. It was hard, man.
I couldn't do it. I
think I could do it.
Okay.
I think you can too. I'm not
talk a lot
lie.
of shit.
I think that's why
just
I could do
not
it.
not like negatively, but I have a lot of things to talk about, and I could easily be like, this is what we're gonna talk about, and I could like go on a rant by myself like for a minute. Like,
no lie, I see that.
If I did something 20 minutes, I could do it.
Yeah,
I could totally do it.
I think you should try it for 2020. Believe it, this is me being real. I think like you
could a spinoff.
Yeah, that would be. Now she really needs to know how to edit. It could be
Oh,
like,
it's like,
you gonna
no,
pay
don't
me
forget about me.
yeah, no, I really think so. Something where she can
Here
have.
goes the jinx.
See?
No, I'm not trying to separate y'all two. I think because of her insights of her like there's topics that you've got to talk about. I think one about T.I. and she just went off. Like I didn't even hear you talk, and I'm like, is he still there?
And then like he would make a face, and I'm like, no. All right, so I got you. Listen to this. Yeah, like that's me.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. I'm like, maybe she needs her own show for
I'm like,
certain
I think
things.
I could do it. 20
He say, "Oh
minutes.
no, that's
I'm
not
like,
happening."
I could do it.
Trying to be the Omarion of the group. You know?
Oh man,
There's definitely times
I could never. I'm never that level of unbothered.
There's
I am
times-
bothered all the time.
There's times when Vicky's talking, and I'm sitting here like listening. I'm like, and then I remember that the cameras are on, so I'm like, okay, half of this video was just me like this.
yeah,
So I'll switch the camera angle, just her, and I'll grab my water and be like, because the camera's not on me anymore. I'm like, whatever. But that's one thing that comes into play with the whole podcast, where one, again, I wish I could do it 9 to 5.
yeah.
I've taken some stuff out when I factored in. Oh, I got a 9 to 5. No, again, I'm not saying people are checking for me and to making sure, you know, people.
Yeah.
I'm saying the right stuff and not the wrong stuff. But I work at a college, so I remember once Vicky wanted to have one of her friends on who has a like a wine a la carte kind of business.
She has a bartending service.
My bad, a bartending service, and we wanted to have her on to promote the business, and I automatically was like, work at a college and my
But
podcast
it's a
to promote. I know, I
bartending
get
service,
it,
you know what I'm saying? It's so different.
but it's drinking, it's alcohol. Again, this is me overthinking.
But you have
it.
adult
Yeah,
students.
you're overthinking
Yeah,
it,
because
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but you have adult students. What you talking
Oh,
about?
my bad, I lights are off.
Yeah, I was like, yo, where'd that come
Like,
from?
wow.
That
let there be-
happened before, and I was like,
Let there be light.
turn that on. Yeah, I'm like, when he was overthinking, I'm like, so we're going to be talking to a professional person
Yeah.
who runs her own business, where you can hire her to bartend your events,
Yeah.
and that's something you don't have to think about. She brings professionalism to it. She creates her own drinks.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's really great. She had an event about it. And I'm like, so she not only teaches you how to be responsible when hosting a party, and you know, and the way you do that is by hiring her, but then she would come on and teach us on camera how to make one of her signature drinks. And he's like, I work at a college, we can't promote alcohol. I'm like, we're not promoting alcohol.
And it's like
It just
I was like, you know what, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to do this no more.
She was like, forget it. Tap
there's
out.
a podcast.
That'll be on her podcast.
Crazy.
Exactly. There's a podcast that records.
That's for her 20-minute.
She could do that,
yep,
yeah.
There she goes.
There's a
Oh,
podcast.
that would be hot. Me and her will have a ton of fun.
There's a podcast that records out of my studio, and I'm not officially on the show, but I'll be
Yeah.
sitting back here.
He's unofficially on
There's
the
no camera on me, and,
Yeah.
and they just talk freely.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
and you know, it gets loose sometimes, the conversation, and then they'll be like, "Yo, what you think, Phoenix?" Or they'll say my real name, and I'm just like, I'm like, yo.
Can we edit that?
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely
That's
sent-
coming out.
I've definitely sent them their audio, and I don't know if they ever realize it, that there'll be a chunk of me talking, because I will kind of get into it.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, I'm like, just take that whole chunk out, and I'll send it to them. But they've never said anything. But I know, because one of them I knew for a long time. So he kind of knew to differentiate between O'Day and Phoenix or whatever. And then the other one, I met him through the guy that through his co-host. So he only knew me by my real name. So he would constantly say O'Day, and then he had to tell me, yo, just call him Phoenix on air, because we talk about some crazy stuff. And some of my students follow me on Instagram, and sometimes they'll tag me in the videos that they'll post. I'm like, yo, just untag me, bro, because y'all was talking about that R. Kelly stuff way too crazy, But yeah, but it's to go back to us talking about what we want to do with this. That's one thing that kind of holds me back from what I think, how much I can put into it, because I always factor in, I still have the 9 to 5, so I'll pull back in certain ways, or I can't dedicate as much as I want to this to make it what it is, because 9 to 5, job,
Family.
got to be a boyfriend.
Oh, whoa.
you gained permission
Whoa.
to elevate yourself on the title.
Gotta be
You
a
earned it.
fiance.
You earned it. Because I be shutting people down like, oh, your husband. I'm like, excuse me. That's my boyfriend. Don't be giving him no husband title.
The one thing we get, we were talking about her friend that she's gonna bring on her spinoff podcast. Do y'all get that?
Well, not anytime soon.
Do y'all get friends and family? Yo, you should have me on, bro.
Yeah, we get a lot.
Yeah, there's people I would say that they're they're like, oh, I have so much I can say. And I don't mind it. It don't bother me because I don't feel like we're limited. Where if someone were to listen to it, they would judge us on it. Not that your college is going to judge you on if you had the woman that has her own business, liquor business. But I feel that with us, we just freely speak. Like, we don't really talk too much controversial stuff because we don't talk about it regularly anyway. I think probably we talk more about if we saw a movie. Like, we just saw Uncut Gems. And
you gave it a thumbs down, I saw.
Didn't like it.
Really?
I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, save your 2 hours of your life.
Is it one of those things where, like, Adam Sandler, stick to comedy?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
You know what's funny? I was going to say before we started.
The camera just came on, too.
Amazon.
For you?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just leave it there. I was gonna say,
Yo, they move so quickly. Usually, I can say like, "Don't ring the bell."
Yo, I told myself that I was gonna tell y'all. Let me apologize.
We was having a guest right now come through
because Amazon said it might come between 2 and 4. And I was like, yo, we might be recording.
Yeah.
So I was gonna tell y'all that, but
no matter.
And you know what's funny?
It's okay.
If y'all weren't here, it was just us. The final edit, you wouldn't even have heard it.
Oh my! You better not cut none of this out, man. Keep this for your podcast and our podcast.
I was saying to you, like, guys, here's the 5-minute recording we did. And we took everything out.
No, I think it's good for, and this is switching back over to what we were saying earlier about your podcast. I think it's good where you keep everything that's spoken of because you're giving people you. This is who you guys are. And I think that to me is more appealing than editing your life out. You know,
unless it gets really serious.
Well, yeah,
like
if you start throwing things at each other,
or certain things that may be too much, you know, that you're just like, you know what, we can't. But, you know, just keep it all just because you guys are you. That makes you. No?
Like, I don't know.
It's like, we're okay.
But you were saying about people like coming at you like, oh, I want to be on. I got a story to tell.
Yeah, I don't know much from your family. I know we had your sister and your brother-in-law. It was Jen and Edison that was on our show, where
your cousin wants to get on.
Yeah, but when we had them on, I wanted them on because I know that Edison and those who know Edison in Perth Amboy and
friend of the show, shout out to Edison.
He has done amazing work in his life and he has an amazing story. And I know a lot of the things that he spoke on our podcast he's never said before. And I want to get that. Like when I do interviews, like even when I do like video documentary, I try to get the root of the person. And I try for them to open up. And when we saw that, and we didn't video, we should have. Jesse and Jen, they're both emotional people, but they were crying for not because of sadness but of joy, because the things that he was saying, if you go back to the episode, these are things that you've never heard Edison say. Even when he does his speeches or when he talks at events, he really opened up about his personal life and his struggles from his relationship with his now wife. And I thought that was beautiful, and we would like to have things like that. So if there's a family member that they're willing to open up about something, and that, I think is beautiful because it's inspiring. You know.
Edison's dope, yo. That's actually how I found your podcast. That was my first episode when he posted that he was on there. I got to get him back on the show. Every time I see him, I'm like, yo, or he's always telling me, yo, I'm ready. And I'm always like, oh, what are you doing Sunday? And then we never talk again until the next time. But if you make a left or a right on any street in Amboy, you're going to bump into Edison in some way. I think he just went live before we started recording. But yeah, I've definitely had some people like, yo, bring me on. I'm like, oh, what you want to talk about? They're like, I don't know, I'm just going to talk.
I'm like,
nah, we can't have that though.
I'm like, listen, let me tell you how this works,
you just want to talk, girl.
Because I'm like, first of all, I'm not even a creative person. So if you're saying that you want to come on, then that means you coming on. You are here to suggest something. I can't just have you on and then think the idea for you. I'm not creative. You know, you gotta help me out here.
And then they'll say that they'll get on the show and they won't say a word. They'll be mad shy, like, oh, the camera's on me. Like you gotta be ready
be like,
to
no,
work.
no, I don't want to talk about that. So then go home.
You're like, wait. So you recording me? I'm like, yeah. But I think I appreciate some of the combos we have with people who we've known for years, and then you get them in front of the mic, and you're like, yo, I did not know that. It's like you killed how many people? You're like, oh,
that's such a lie.
No, but I appreciate it. Like I always think back to Adari when you had her on, and this was a friend of ours, and she talked about it was like not just wedding planning, but the relationship that she was in, and her fiance was there as well, and just hearing them talk, I was like, I always knew her, but I didn't know her personality. I didn't know,
I did, because she was my dean. My for people who don't know, I'm in a sorority. She was my, I don't know, how do you explain a dean?
She was in charge of
She
you
was
while
in
you
charge
were
of
doing
me
your
while I
workshops.
was doing, while I was going from just a regular
To joining your sorority.
person
Pledging.
to, yeah. We don't do that anymore. So I was going through a new member intake process, and she was the sister guiding me and the other 8 girls, other 7 girls.
But that's like my favorite part about doing this, getting to like learn.
Yeah.
I've learned more about Vicky, to be honest, while doing this. You know, I've learned.
People learn
more about Vicky.
no.
Oh, people. My friends who listen learn more about Vicky.
What did they learn?
No.
Oh, this is interesting. See, I don't know about none of this.
Oh, now you have to say it. Yeah.
They just got
I
more
gotta
edit.
say it.
They
Now I got
more,
backup. He's like, nope, say it.
no, they got more insight into like who you are, how you like. We did an episode on how we argue.
Yo, the How We Argue episode, people were taken so back because they're like, wow, I thought you were the loudmouth. And I'm like, I am not. Because then I turn into Omari and I'm like, I am not bothered.
But stuff like that. So
You will not
my
catch me
friends,
raising my voice.
my friends got to like learn who she is. Aside from just what I tell them, and I'm assuming the same happens with her friends and family. Got to learn like more about me.
My sister was like, oh my God, you sound like so cool. Like I could hang out with you. I'm like,
Talking about her. Talking about
yeah,
her.
talking about me. I'm like, she's like, if I didn't know you, I would totally hang out with you. I'm like,
Wow.
So
okay.
what's been your favorite episode of your own podcast?
I don't know. I think I would say it would be the last one because of how funny she was. It was a little annoying to me because in the beginning it was a little annoying because I'm like, like even when I press record and she just laughing like, yo, Jess, come on, let's go. Like, and she just kept laughing. I'm like, but it wasn't like, come on, hurry up, like get the laughing out. But it was like, yo, Jess, we're gonna record. Like, are you gonna continue to laugh? Because I'm pressing record. All
I
right,
was
record.
dancing before, and I was singing and
She was
everything. Like
all
I was
over
just,
the place.
I was just so silly, and he was just like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I think so. That was the more because of how free she was with herself, and people love it. There are fans of her that love her wittiness and her because they say, "Oh, like I'm the serious one," and then she will come out and start laughing, and then they
He
look
said,
at her
like
like
he gets too deep with it, and I'm just like, let's change this up.
so that's what it says, like a perfect balance.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the most recent episode because of her wittiness and being funny and trying to sing and stuff like that. I think it's just fun to have that I can't even say the word. Hanging out with you too much. I forgot how to say camaraderie. I don't know. She may know how to say it.
Camaraderie?
Yes, there you go. Oh man, I feel like a loser. But yeah, it's just that, and then the bond that we have as friends, like literally, is my best friend. I can't express
Aww.
it. Yeah, I'm not trying to win her over, but just really like we just have so much fun together, and we just love like just hanging out. Like we don't need to do anything extravagant to have fun. We could literally just sit on the couch and talk about nothing. Like before we came here, we sat in the car and watched YouTube videos of a song that we saw on TikTok, and she's like, "What's that song?" We googled it, we listened to it, we're like, "Oh, this is a good song," and we could do that.
So can we talk about TikTok real quick?
Okay.
Let me get on my phone because I don't know anything
So
about
okay,
it.
wait, who are you? Who's on TikTok?
We both are, but she doesn't really. She's not active on it. Like I don't post much.
Okay.
But I'm inspired, and I was telling her like recently I was like I'm not as inspired like I was when I first started, but there are certain things that are on TikTok that really inspire me, and it's really the photography, the creativity of the photographers, and
The guys that walk around and do the shoots on the street. Or
yeah,
just in general.
just in general, yeah, the things, the
It
creative
gets
things.
yeah.
I'm like I didn't even think of that, and it really inspires me to shoot more photos, and I haven't shot in a long time. But it's really the creativity. I don't care about the dancing. I don't care about.
You don't care about Charlie? Charlie and
no, I don't care about Charlie. But it's
no offense, Charlie.
It's nothing that the people like. There's some funny stuff on there, but it's really the creativity and sometimes even the editing that these people do.
Yo,
And it's like, wow, you really spent hours for 15 seconds.
these kids are like 14 years old.
Yeah,
doing editing.
It's very impressive.
They've
Yeah.
never been to any kind of school for it.
Guys, did you forget we were freaking doing HTML coding for MySpace like nobody's business? Like, girl, what you want? You want hearts coming down your page? I got
oh my
you.
God, you see, that's what I was talking about. I didn't. I
That
never
was
had,
me.
I
She
never
never
had
had
a
MySpace.
MySpace.
You didn't have a MySpace, a Mi Gente page, nothing.
People would hit me
that.
up all the time, like, "Yo, can you do my page?" I'm like, "Sure. What you want? Tell me the music, color, background. You want something
But I
coming from the
remember,
sky?"
yes, you see. But I remember that. I remember having that
URL.
Yeah, and because my sister, and I never cared for social media. Like it wasn't until I started doing Beachbody that's when I started social media. But back then, like, no.
I think the word you said is the word I apply to how I view TikTok. It's inspiring because I'm on it. I've never posted, but I'm just like, I always say I'm doing a paper I'm doing my thesis on TikTok. I'm just studying how people are using it, what they're doing, what they're able to do. And I'm just like, yo, I have not scratched the surface of creativity because these 15-year-olds are like killing the game right now.
Yes, and it's like, what are we gonna do to beat that, to top that?
So I'm like, what would I even post as my first video that will compare to what these kids are doing?
Yeah.
So my only goal with TikTok, and I'm trying to work it out, is to get to a certain amount of followers so I can do the whole live thing and take my Make Party Monday stuff to TikTok. I feel like there's nothing on there like it yet.
Yeah.
So, but other than
that'd
that,
be good.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm amazed by it and what they're doing with TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't understand it quite yet because I'm still studying it. I don't know if it's for us over 24, you know?
Well, they say
You'd be
it's
surprised.
for,
There's a lot of older people on
Yeah.
it that are creative
Gary
as
Vee
well.
talks about it a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I
He
went
says
to
like
it.
this is the Facebook from back then.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
how, and I'm like, wow, I don't get it. But
No, it's good. I feel that's one thing that we haven't done yet is a live, and people are asking for it. They want us to do our podcast on a Facebook Live where they can chime in and ask questions. And not that we're not ready for it, but I feel that technology. I can't even say the word.
Technological.
Yeah, technologically,
Right, technology.
we're not there yet. Only because
What do you mean?
we don't have the program. Like I would literally have to record, do the video, do the live, have my laptop. I would literally have to be like if I'm in a spaceship where there's just so many different buttons.
Facebook Live.
Yeah, because it's not just press record on Facebook Live. You want to make sure that the audio is good. You want to make sure the angles are good. The lighting is good. It's a lot of things that come into play. And I also told her that I wanted to invest in a point where we are live and people can actually call in, rather than just send in voice notes, because people could send in voice notes and we'll play it. But as they're listening, here's the number. Call us right now. We're going to take questions. I want us to get to that point. And I don't think we're there technically yet, technology, right? yet.
No.
But we're just getting into the YouTube thing now. And little by little, I think in 2020, that's where we're aiming for, to go live. Once in a Blue, and we're gonna be starting our vlog series soon too. I believe January 1st, or we're gonna drop our first couple vlog.
Nice.
And it's only gonna be like maybe 6-7 minutes, like a behind the scenes of everything. Like we're gonna record once we leave here and give our insights of the experience, and then we're gonna talk about the movie that we saw that was horrible.
We was gonna bring the camera here, but we was like, we don't know.
We don't know how
you
you
should just ask.
Yeah, 'cause, I definitely was saying to myself, oh, let me get an extra tripod set up just in case you brought your camera.
Yeah, it's in the car, and I was like, you know
I
what?
should have brought it.
I'm like,
I
don't.
mean, they're still technically here.
I know.
This is not a conversation where
It's in the
we're
car,
not in
like it's
separate.
far away.
Yeah, and I'm like, you mean the one parked in the front?
What's funny though, the whole time you guys are saying like, all these different levels you want to level up for next year. I'm here like, we got T-shirts. Like we got
you know what's funny?
2 T-shirts.
I was
printed.
totally thinking of like, when am I gonna get that baseball cap?
But I mean, in a perfect world, you would have access to a studio that already has a setup that you can go live to your Facebook page, take calls.
That has the call-in feeture.
Already
and,
set to go.
Has lights
with,
and
you can go live on both your Instagram and your Facebook.
You
So
shall receive.
if you ever want to come by, like Vicky and I, like we went live to Instagram. We can go live to Facebook. We just haven't done it.
Yeah.
But actually, us going live to Facebook, it's actually the quality is way better than when we do it to Instagram.
Yeah.
Because our software just sends it straight to our and
it's a different crowd
page.
too on Facebook.
So it's a whole different crowd. So I think we've held off because we want to first. How do we want to address that Facebook crowd? Because that is my coworkers, our close family.
Like his mom, his dad.
Whoa.
So we're like, all right, let's hold off. But
And then you get the cousins that are like, nah, I'm on Instagram. I know what this is about. I'm trying to like egg us on.
so so if you guys if you're ever ready,
No, thank
you're
you.
ready
Yeah,
to
we
come
appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
I think for the 2020, I think that's something that we want to do. We want to get to the live portion of it. And maybe we won't be ready. Maybe we will. We're going to try it. That's something that we want to try in 2020. So is there anything that you guys want to do in 2020 for your podcast?
Like Vicky said, an actual live episode. We would love to go to Facebook and do like a live thing there. We definitely want to start building the You Me We brand. That's why, like I said, we have the little T-shirts and stuff, because
That's cute.
we do also want to hopefully make some income off of this. So
Yeah.
support us by buying a shirt, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just, you know, like we said, be a household name that people will listen to for support, for advice. Because the one thing we definitely want to use, again, we're not experts, but knowing that, I think you kind of touched on it earlier, knowing that our podcast or the content that we talk about inspires somebody, touches someone. Like I think the episode I'm most proud of is our growth hormone awareness week episode.
Yeah.
Because our son has I'm going to butcher the name of it. I haven't said it in so long. What does he have again?
Go. I just have to hear
he has panhypopituitarism. So the Magic Foundation got us in contact with a renowned endocrinologist. So to know that we had that episode that they posted on their Facebook page and all these other families.
Yeah, and now that's a resource for families with children.
See, that's amazing.
Who were recently diagnosed with panhypopit. You know,
that's beautiful.
It's a resource that I for sure wish we had when they told us, because he breaks everything down. And even, you know, his condition is like, is you just, as you grow, you learn more, because every child is
different.
Is different. But even as he was telling us some basic stuff, we were still wowed by some of the information he shared with us. So, like,
so in 2020, we'd love to have
that one episode, I'm like, go big pharma.
So we'd love to have more episodes like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
More episodes that
that was
like
really cool.
Yeah, I did something like that a couple years ago because my son is autistic. So I recorded a video with my cell phone before I had a camera, an entire video with me and his mother. We weren't together, but we recorded the video of our struggles in the beginning, finding out my son was autistic and how we lived with the condition of being autistic and having the teachers come in and try to help him, and then the whole growth of him going to school and getting on the bus by himself. That whole thing, we wish we had that kind of a guidance, although every autistic child is different.
Right.
We were really at a bad place in our relationship, and then that having to be put onto us was very difficult. So when I put out that video, Autism Speaks put it on their website. It reached
awesome
thousands of people. They invited us to different events, and it was great. I wish that I did more of that and continue to do it. Not that I can't, but I wish that I continue to do that to help other families with that struggle that they may be facing and feel alone, because they're not. Every family has dealt with this somewhere or another. Like, no one's, in my opinion, if they find out their child's autistic, like, okay, whatever. No, it's like, what do I do now? That's what it was.
Yeah.
You know? So to have that awareness and what you guys, I think that's amazing. And I think that's what we want to do. And at the end of the day, we just want to help and inspire people, really.
Was there like a little piece of you that was like, when your video got shared and it was on Autism Speak, or there a piece you was like, the creative side, how can I build on this little viral moment?
No, you know what?
Guys, I made
you know what's crazy?
Mom,
I just kept
it
thinking, should I just now make videos with my son? And show that growth, that behind the scenes. And my thing was, it wasn't like the cloud. It was like, I want to be able to be invited to galas and then talk to people. And it's really this, pay for my trip, I will talk. And there was, I did an interview with someone, and this was for me because I have hemophilia. It's a blood disease. And I was interviewed to do speaking. And they asked me they did a whole interview and they asked me some question. I forgot what it was. But by my answer, they determined, he may not fit what we're looking for. I was like, how can I not fit?
Like,
I have the disease. It did not go away.
I don't have it enough.
Like, should I have more of it? But no, it was really discouraging when that happened. And then I was just like, you know what?
That, I think you should speak about more, because you never know who has it. No,
you're right. Sorry.
and they don't speak of.
What was that?
His
My
phone.
fault.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I don't speak about it. Not that I'm in the now, even though my doctors and family say that I am, because I still live a quote unquote normal life.
Yeah.
But whenever there are internal bloods, I know we're going crazy into a different topic, but whenever there's internal bleeding for me, I have to infuse myself with medication. And sometimes I avoid it because it's like I'm poking myself. Like, I've been poking myself for 30 years. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know? So I avoid it. She'll see me limping, like, you got to take your medicine. I'm like, no, I've been here before. I'll survive without taking medicine. And those are the things that, this is the most I've talked about, but this is the problem where it's like, I guess I'm still in the now that I have it, so I don't talk about it, you know. But when it comes to my son, I freely talk about it because I feel that there are so many people, even though people could learn from hemophilia, but there's so many people, that families that can learn from autism and how to deal with it. And everybody deals with it in their own way, but from a different point of view where they don't feel alone.
Now, and I know we've been talking for a while. Before we started, we didn't really say like how long we wanted to talk.
Yeah, where are we at on the time?
We're at 1:16.
I was gonna I was gonna point to they like, oh, looks like you left something off your checklist because they didn't start
clock.
that timer.
Yeah,
I know. I even downloaded a whole.
Yeah, he totally did. He was like making sure it worked.
All right, so actually, I think we're at a good point to end.
Okay.
Going off what you just said, is there anything that you could say is like off limits that to talk about? Because I admit, I've applauded like the content you guys have put out there. One of the things that you did put out there was like how you met and how you started dating.
Yeah.
And it's a topic that we've talked about getting people on to talk about it that we know have met the same way, and we know that they won't or they wouldn't. I was like, and you also talked about your son. There's another topic you talked about, and I was like, yo, that's so cool that he or she would, like, they brought that out. They talked about that. Is there anything off limits?
We never discussed.
No, I think and you said this to me too, it was like negative speaking.
Oh, yes.
Negative speaking.
Yeah.
Where we won't talk about, although it may be good content, but we won't talk about, I don't know, what would you say, for example?
Like bashing of others.
Yeah.
Like.
Like of a specific person, or like a certain opinion, or.
Yeah, anything. I don't know. For me, it's too touchy for me. Like, where I don't want anybody. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want negativity. Like, anything that comes down that it's negative. Like, if anybody's watching it, that they're like, oh, we're uplifting instead of like bashing somebody or bashing a situation. Or
Yeah.
so
she could never listen to the read.
Oh,
the read.
It's a very, very popular podcast, and it's like
it's one of the ones that like they'll touch on the different hot topics. Like,
that's but then they go in. Like, I'm like,
yeah, I'm not.
There was something that we were going to talk
about.
I forgot what it was.
There was a topic, and then I was just like, I don't know. This seems like we're going to be bashing people. And I was like, I don't want that. I think that's one thing that we want to do. That's not who I am. And I don't want it to be that we start something just because people want that. You know, like a negativity. You know how we were talking about love and hip hop. People want fighting and stuff like that. I don't want that. Like,
I think the most we've talked about is the things people do that we think is ridiculous. Like, for instance, when people post, as far as like how much they'll post or what they won't post, they'll take 1,000 selfies and only post one picture. We think that's a little bit ridiculous. So we'll talk about stuff like that, but we won't say a specific person like this person posts too much.
Yeah.
Like, I think you guys were talking about Kim Kardashian and the whole
that magazine cover.
Yeah, the magazine cover where her skin tone is like completely different. When I saw it for the first time, I didn't even know it was her.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, they was like.
But that was nothing negative. But we didn't want to talk specifically about her and how she. We're talking about it now, but how she predicts to be something that she's not. So if we get into a deep dive in that, then it becomes more negative. Yeah. Although it may be bringing awareness to, you know, the racial thing and how it affects others in that society and that pop culture life. But we're like, you know what? Let someone else talk about that.
Yeah.
And we, not that, because when you guys were talking about it, it's not like you were saying something negative. You were just talking about how you felt viewing it for the first time. And I thought that was good. For us, I just think that if I were to say, I'll probably say the wrong thing because my mind would just start working, and then I won't realize that after I said, then I have to do what you do and just edit it out, and then it'll be 2 minutes. And we just focus on more positivity, where I guess you could say we're not about controversy, but we don't mind talking about it in a sense. But it won't be a topic like today we're going to talk about
we're going deep with
kidnapping.
Right.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Same. I think the one thing we've never really talked about is like politics. Cause
we don't
neither
talk
one of
about
us.
I'm like, you know what? I'm very on the surface about politics, and I just don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure like anybody that's big on politics can easily just be like, well, this is how I know that you don't know, because bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
like, I know my place. It's not it. That's not it. I just have my opinions, but I keep them to myself.
Yeah, we're not well versed on
For
that.
the
We
most
try to
part.
keep it things that we know of. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I have some friends that are
Things
politicians.
things that I feel perfectly fine going back and forth on somebody with, I can talk about that. But the rest of it, I'm like,
I did, before I met Jesse, I did wanted to start my own hip hop podcast and just talk about hip hop and different topics of hip hop, because I love it. I love that music. I don't love it now. I don't even listen to hip hop now, but just because I was a DJ for so long, I've listened to so many songs and I produced and I did so much. And like, I wish I could start my own hip hop channel, but I don't want to do it by myself. I need someone who knows it enough for me to have that conversation, and that can get into a lot of negative and debates, because it's all opinions. That's what podcast is really just opinions. It's, although some of them may be facts, but it's just my word against yours, and who's right and who's wrong. That's what it comes down to.
Dope. This has been amazing.
Yes, it has.
Loved having y'all here. You're always welcome to come back.
Thank you.
To the You and Me podcast, and I guess vice versa. But we'd love to collaborate again.
Yeah, we'll invite you to our kitchen dinner.
Kitchen table.
Our kitchen table for dinner.
I guess we'll do both of our outros, our exits.
Yeah. So we'll start on the end because this is your home. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the love and support. And
thank you for listening.
And this is our 15th episode. So please check out our YouTube channel, Sorry for Interrupting Podcast on YouTube.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Click the button down below.
And we are.
Click the button in the corner. You start pointing out.
Over there. Somewhere.
And you can find us wherever you find our podcast, where you can find
every
audio.
time I'm sorry.
I'm thinking back to every time you say it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm like, in the videos, I'm like, oh, I'll be here, and I'm thinking he's gonna put like a pop-up. Nothing happens.
I put no pop. There's so much editing, man. Listen,
that reminds me of when you cut her mic off.
Oh,
when I was about to start singing.
Right. Oh, this ain't happening.
Oh.
We're gonna lose a lot of listeners for that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You see, this is what happens.
And again, that kind of goes back. I know we said we're gonna close up, but that's why I think I told you guys. That's why I like your podcast.
Yeah.
Again, it's not juicy gossip. It's not nothing negative. It's just like two people just having a regular conversation.
Yeah.
The kind of jokes you would have with your partner when you're talking to them. And those natural moments of her saying that, and then seeing you kind of go like, and she's like, comment, subscribe, and they're all like, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I love hearing it.
Thank you.
But yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. But yes, thank you for listening. And wherever you find your podcast, you can find us at Sorry for Interrupting Podcast. And again, thank you to the You and Me podcast for allowing us to be here at the studio and having this time when you guys are. This is our longest episode we ever had, but we just kept talking. This is what people do. So again, thank you, and we love it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming to the You, Me, We podcast. I'm O'Day.
I'm Vicky.
And this has been episode 59.
You see what I'm saying? If you would have just looked at it before.
What is it? 59?
I don't know.
I hope this doesn't happen to us. Like, we forget the episodes, we get to like 50 and like 51.
And right now,
I'll tell you right
We're going
now.
to write them down. Yeah.
And right now, somebody's like, yeah, thank you for listening to our episode 2048.
This is episode 58.
58. All right.
59 is going to be the card show.
Congratulations, guys.
Goodbye.
Yeah, congratulations, and to many more,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you.